You are now listening to The Shonna Show, and I'm your host, Shonna Boykins, and I have created this sacred space to share my poetry with you, and I hope that you all enjoy. The first poem that I want to talk about is I Found My Begonia. So what I'll do is I'll go over the meaning of the poem and what inspired it, and then I'll read the poem to you. So I Found My Begonia actually came from a day when I was going to pick my plant up from the sun and I couldn't find it. I figured one of the kids from the neighborhood had found it and taken it home to their mom as a token of appreciation, so I didn't mind because this is something that my kids would do for me. So truthfully, I just let it go and I smiled. But after that evening, I remember standing out on the back stairs and I heard something calling my energy. And I wasn't sure what it was, but as I looked over, it was my begonia. And it actually turns out that it wasn't lost. It was only a few inches from where I had sat, and I just didn't look good enough, I guess. It wasn't meant for me to see then. But that day I was extremely happy to have found my begonia, so I wrote a poem for it. And it actually correlated with me finding and celebrating my newly found creative spark as well. So I also realized on that day I was finding myself again after a long period of recovering as an artist, and I was dealing with so many different types of blocks when it came to my creativity, especially writing. And I noticed that I wasn't leaning to my addictions anymore in order to create, and my heart leaned into that happiness and that joy and that gratitude that I found in my heart that day. So spiritually, physically, and mentally, I had found my begonia. I created the I Found My Begonia video also to express the messages that I was receiving from my angel guides and my ancestors during my recovery, in hopes to inspire others who were dealing with similar issues when they were having low moments. So it's my gift to share. Passion Rose Pink represents me finding my passion again as an artist, and Rose Pink stood for the passion. It symbolized the passion and the things that I was doing in order to connect with myself, like painting and dancing, and bathed me in honey milk golds. There were days during my recovery when I didn't know who I was looking at in the mirror when I was looking at myself, and honey milk golds represents the lavish abundance that was being shared from my heart to those around me that I needed to first bathe myself in. Beautiful, gentle, I struggled with poor self-image and channeling my feminine energy during that time. I also battled with PTSD for the most part, and during dark times I tend to go into fight or flight mode with myself, and when it's not even necessary. So for a person who only looks to fight, they are not looking to be gentle, and I was looking for my gentle side. So I called myself beautiful and gentle. Beautiful was my self-affirmation that I was indeed worthy, and I was still indeed beautiful with all of my flaws that I was still experiencing, discovering during the time when I needed to be strong the most. Okay? And wounded healer, I was trying to be there for everybody but myself. I was trying to be there for everybody, and it caused me to neglect and abandon my own needs. And I was born from an empty cup that led to me being parched, which I said she was parched. I was thirsty, trying to quench the thirst of others and not myself. So pretty young, I was reminding myself of my essence, romantic brown, always in love, looking for or healing from what we thought was love or what is indeed love that we cannot recognize. And I was going through tough times, as I mentioned before, but my remembrance of my romantic essence kept me going. Royal, my gentle empress. There I was reminding myself of my royal roots, my worth during times of poor self-image, and that was another affirmation for me. Don't you forget again. A reminder that hard times can make us forget who we are sometimes, but when we learn to place our value in ourselves and not externally, we begin to see the truth of who we are. And don't you forget again, don't let the thoughts seep into your mind that you are lacking one single thing, was my reminder to myself. Your soil needs nourishment too. Giving, but not in the right direction, which was to myself, was taking a toll on me when I was taking care of everybody else's needs but my own. And feminine lionized over sunbathing. That line represented how at times my spirit animal was a lion, and I had to call on my lion energy a lot, which helped me to step into my role as a leader, to be able to lead with love. And this led me to considering myself more in order to be a good leader, a strong leader, a courageous leader. That lion energy was needed during that time to strengthen me. Over sunbathing represented the fact that I spent a lot of time in the sun during that period of my life. Even when I felt I should have been creating, sometimes I would just go and lay in the sun, and I would consider that over sunbathing because I needed to be doing other things, but the sun was my crutch during that time. It was my medicine. Get your attention, girl. During my recovery, I didn't want to be seen, but I knew I needed to connect with other like-minded individuals, and this required me coming out of hiding. And I had lost so much weight after my diet and after fasting. My life changed. And this made me have low self-esteem because I didn't see the same person in the mirror. And because of that, I suffered with a lack of self-love. Okay, so that's where those lines came from. And me, at the time that I would look at myself in the mirror, I looked at myself as I didn't see the person I used to see. I didn't see my strength and my courage and my beauty. And this led me to needing more fun and more joy in my life because I was so serious, which symbolizes the line, play some, have fun. I was so serious and I was overcoming so much. I didn't know how to go out and have fun. And joy is only attracted to more joy, so I needed to hear this at the time. Play some and have fun. Restore is all in the word represents exactly what that symbolizes. Get back to who I needed to be, the fun-loving person that I was. After that period of recovery, I allowed my energy to be shook. I was overwhelmed by a lot of fear and anxiety because I hadn't fully become okay with being around energies that were displacing mine, and I realized that I needed to take it slow and continue to restore. Restoration came after recovery, and I had to remind myself of that. Keep a light heart, tender love and care. I realized I could not trust. I wasn't trusting myself, and I wasn't trusting others. And having a light heart, keeping a light heart was my reminder that because I knew I was looking at myself through new eyes, that I needed to regain another grounded, stable sense of trust. I also had to restore my sense of non-judgment. And this allowed me to befriend my obstacles in life, the obstacles that I was experiencing in life, and not make my obstacles an enemy. All right. So I didn't mean that I had to consider certain people who were no longer, true to me. It meant that I was ready to shift my perspective on life and keep a light heart with tender love and care. And remind myself that even on the worst days, that even those people that weren't being true to me still deserve to be loved, even if at a distance. So that was my reminder to not let my heart harden, and to keep it light and tender. With healing hands, that was my reminder to still pray, to still nourish my divine essence. And O Master Gardener represent to always be sure to tend to your own inner garden, as you have done many times before. That was my reminder to myself. And I think you may be the one. That symbolizes the message that I always receive from my ancestors, that they remind me of my energy, the star, the legend, the sunflower, and that I am the one to carry out the vision that they see through my life, the one that follows their guidance to the best of their knowledge. All right. And that is the explanation of I found my begonia. So now I'll read you the poem. I found my begonia. I can recall being born. Do you remember my name, my sacredness? I am my ancestors' wildest dream. Fill my brim with moonshine. I found my begonia. Passion, rose pink. Bathe me in honey milk golds. Beautiful, gentle, wounded healer. She was parched. Pretty young, romantic brown, royal magenta empress. Don't you ever forget again. Your soil needs nourishment too. Feminine lionized over sunbathing. Get your attention, girl. Play some. Restore. Have fun. And keep a light heart. Tender love and care. With healing hands. Oh, Master Gardener, I think you may be the one. I hope you enjoyed that poem. That was I Found My Begonia. And you can find that visual on YouTube, or you can go directly to my website, to my poetry link, and my website is www.shonnaboykins.com. And if you would like to reach me by email, you can reach me at artistshonnaboykins@gmail.com. And again, this is the Shonna Show, where I've created a space to share my poetry with you. And my name is Shonna Boykins, and I will talk to you next time. Have a good day.